So about a month or so on this channel, I actually made a video talking about the report that Glen Powell was interested in potentially playing Batman and all of this type of stuff. I highly recommend you guys go and check it out. And if you do, please watch my ad. I'm obviously very poor and I have a wife and kids to feed. So please watch the ad on the video. Obviously, I'm fucking joking. I don't even have a wife or a kid. The closest I've come to talking to a woman is maybe the chick at the cash register at McDonald's. You don't even have to fucking watch the ad. Just go and watch the video to make me feel good about my life, please. Anyway, before I was getting so off track with this, obviously Glen Powell talked about his potential to wanting to maybe be Batman. If he wanted to be Batman, he would maybe do a Michael Keaton type version, all these type of things, right? I kind of didn't think anything of it, but then it kind of had me thinking for a little bit. Glen Powell is slowly becoming an A-lister in Hollywood right now. I still think he's about that B-lister category, but in the last year or so, he has had 3 movies that I feel like a lot of us have heard of, especially 2 of them, you know, Anyone But You and Twisters, which I recently did go and watch. I should have a review like up on the channel about that if I decided and could be fucked to actually make one, but I kind of like the movie. He obviously did another film called Hitman, which some people did like as well. He's really jumping up into being one of the like highly categorized, I think, actors in the whole entire world. And I think people slowly started to warm up to the idea potentially of Glen Powell being Batman and Bruce Wayne again. Look, I'm not gay or anything, but there's only like 1 or 2 men in this world who I'll be like, yeah, that guy's a pretty fucking good looking rooster, right? And Glen Powell is definitely, in my opinion, one of those guys. Not only is he a pretty decent, attractive bloke, he's very, very charismatic, very good actor as well, and seems to be a bloke who can play a pretty good action character like we obviously saw in Twisters. You might be wondering, why is this fat, chubby, 5'8" kid talking about Glen Powell on YouTube? The reason I'm actually talking about this is because the man, the myth himself, Glen Powell, actually recently just started following James Gunn and Andy Muschietti, which can only obviously mean one thing. Again, the report obviously says Glen Powell has started following both James Gunn and Andy Muschietti on Instagram. Do we have the potential star for the new Batman Brave and the Bold movie? Now, I do find it extremely weird that he would just not only randomly follow James Gunn, like maybe he followed James Gunn because he might be playing like Booster Gold, or maybe he's playing Hal Jordan, someone like that. Maybe that's why he played, followed James Gunn, or maybe he's just a fan of James Gunn's work. Again, I follow people who I'm fans of their work. I think, again, I follow Dustin Martin, who plays for Richmond. I follow Donovan Mitchell, who plays for the Cleveland Cavaliers. And I follow a Baylor Danger, who just plays with balls. Just different balls to the other 2 guys I just previously mentioned, I think. But to go and follow Andy Muschietti, who I think I'm saying his name right, that is another step. That is, in my opinion, pretty much just low-key confirming you are the new Batman. And it makes a lot of sense, really, for them to get this thing done like that. Because if we actually look at the DC Universe timeline, Superman, we know, is coming out this year. And then next year, it is going to be Supergirl. There's also a rumor that one of the other movies that James Gunn has been looking at, like I think The Authority is another one, will be coming out at the end of 2026. And then obviously, I personally think in 2027, we will probably be getting this Batman Brave and the Bold movie. Definitely, I think at the end of 2027. The reason I think it will be at the end is I think we know Batman Part 2 is coming out, I think, in 2026. Considering the rumors are saying the script is hopefully coming a bit further along with that. They're actually going to start filming in 2025. I'm hoping we're seeing that like middle of 2026, right? Meaning if they release the Brave and the Bold movie at the end of 2027, that's a whole year and a half away to give us a little bit of separation. I personally think it would make a ton of sense for James Gunn to look for his new Batman like right about now. Because let's just say if the movie comes out end of 2027, they're probably going to start production like early 2026. We gotta remember, production doesn't mean necessarily filming. We gotta remember a lot of productions, especially if it's a first movie, have to test actors with other actors, whether it's gonna be a chemistry read. The thing is, even though they might only start filming like midway of 2026, they will do a lot of other work like early 2026, maybe end of 2025, whether it's chemistry ratings, you know, having Glen Powell try on Batman suits, all of these different type of things, right? So no, I think getting the actor now makes a ton of sense. It's also like good for a guy like Glen Powell who will probably want to continue to do another romantic comedy or romantic movie or two here and there, right? There's rumors Twisters might be getting a sequel, especially if it's popular, which it looks like it's definitely going to be, right? If Glen Powell can have the security of, I'm going to do another couple of movies every year, but I'm also Batman, I know that thing is happening, and I'm, you know, doing all these chemistry stuff on like the side when I've got some spare time, that's stable work for Glen Powell that he's going to be pretty happy with. So I think it works for the actor and it makes a ton of sense. Now, is Glen Powell the right choice to be Batman in this universe? I very much think so. Again, personally, the guy who I always wanted to be Batman was Jake Gyllenhaal. But with some thinking and talking to some mates, you do really realize that Jake Gyllenhaal would only be a good Batman if it was like a dark take, I think. Like a thriller kind of take. And considering we've already got Robert Pattinson's Batman, which is very dark, the last couple of Batmen have been very dark. Brave and the Bold seems to be promised as like a lighter, more comic book type of movie. Jake Gyllenhaal doesn't fit that role and he's a little bit older. Alan Ritchson as well. I know some people like him. I think Alan Ritchson could look like a very cool Batman and very much look like an Arkham Batman. But I'm not necessarily too sure if I like Alan Ritchson's acting, and I know definitely I prefer Glen Powell's acting to him. That's not to say if they went with Alan Ritchson out of nowhere, I'd be like, yeah, that's not a good idea. And then Jensen Ackles, obviously, I like him as well. Again, there's some people who are saying he's not actually 6 foot like it does suggest, that he's like 5'10", 5'11", which might be a little short for Batman. He's also got that same issue with Jake Gyllenhaal where I think he might be a bit too old. And they're probably going to be looking for a guy in his early 30s, middle 30s to match David Corenswet's age as Superman. A guy who can play this character for 10 to 20 years, which I think Glen Powell definitely can do. I also think Glen Powell seems to be like a lighter Batman who, again, will have chemistry as Bruce Wayne, have some love interest, all that type of stuff that some people fault Christian Bale for. Again, a lot of people will say that Christian Bale and Maggie Gyllenhaal's chemistry wasn't that good. Robert Pattinson, we haven't truly gotten to see as much yet. Ben Affleck obviously had no fucking love interest, I don't think, really, other than maybe looking at Gal Gadot's fucking skirt or some shit as Wonder Woman. Who knows? I think Glen Powell's a really cool actor to do this. And obviously I think he fits a lot of great things about Batman, especially Bruce Wayne. But also having a blonde Batman, being a little bit different, right? This Batman's supposed to be a lot lighter, especially the tone. I said in another video, I think this Batman will be like a grey, yellow, blue type of Batman rather than being all black like the last 1800 other Batman would be. I think it's kind of cool for some reason. It's a little bit nerdy and a little bit weird of me to think that, you know, because this Batman's going to be lighter, it's cool to have a Bruce Wayne who's got a lighter hair color. It's a bit fucking stupid and I'm a bit weird saying it on camera, but it's just for some reason what comes to my head. Like, you look at Val Kilmer, a much lighter Batman take than what Michael Keaton's was. And that guy he had blonde hair, like a lighter color hair. I don't know why. It's fucking stupid. I know I'm not the full quid, but it's just another thing, right? I think this is a great decision. I legitimately think the reason he followed those two guys is probably because he's going to be playing Batman. I'd very much like to hear all of what you guys think about this down below though. Please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Comment your thoughts and opinions on, do you guys like Glen Powell potentially being the new Batman? I very much like to know. But as I was saying, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.